Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're cutting through the noise to get to the core of something genuinely game-changing for AI applications. Line, AI expert chatbot systems.
This isn't just about cool tech, you know? It's about seeing how AI can actually solve specific, complex problems in the real world, especially in places where line is practically interwoven into daily life. Okay, let's unpack this.
Absolutely. And what's truly insightful about this deep dive is understanding how this focused application of AI is already transforming how people access critical information. We're moving beyond, the generic chatbots to systems designed for precise, reliable, domain-specific answers. For you, understanding this can provide those aha moments about how to leverage AI effectively, making incredibly complex information accessible right where people already are. Right. So let's dive into that core idea then. What exactly defines an expert in a line AI expert chatbot system? We're all pretty familiar with broad AI like, say, ChatGPT, which can chat about almost anything. But you're talking about something fundamentally different here. What's the one crucial distinction they must grasp that sets these truly expert line systems apart?
Okay, the core distinction, simply put, is its focus and the depth of its knowledge within a very specific domain. Unlike general models that pull from the entire internet, an expert system really hones in on a defined knowledge base to provide highly precise and, well, reliable answers. Think of it as a specialist, not a generalist.
Just specialist, okay.
Yeah. For instance, in a medical context, it could accurately answer questions about symptoms or treatment using verified, up-to-date data, not just guessing. In the legal field, it could provide specific explanations based on particular laws and cases. Or in education, it could precisely answer student questions drawn directly from specific teaching materials. It's all about accuracy and absolute relevance within a confined, curated knowledge base.
That's a really sharp distinction. But, for a lot of our listeners, the immediate question might be, if we have these incredibly powerful general models like ChatGPT, why do we still need to go this more targeted expert system route? What's the fundamental limitation of a broad LLM in these specific scenarios?
That's a great question, and it gets right to the heart of the matter. While general models like ChatGPT are incredibly capable, they've been trained on, well, vast amounts of data. But their knowledge comes from that broad training. They might not have access to or be able to prioritize very specific company documents, internal knowledge bases, or, the very latest niche regulations.
Okay, stuff that's maybe private or just too new.
Exactly. An expert system, by definition, requires precisely that kind of up-to-the-minute, domain-specific, and often proprietary information to function reliably. ChatGPT simply isn't designed to operate within those specific, often confined knowledge silos with guaranteed accuracy on niche topics. It's about trust and precision where general knowledge just won't cut it.
So it's about depth over breadth, making sure the critical information is never generalized or worse, invented, hallucinated, as they say.
Precisely. Avoiding those hallucinations is key for expert tasks.
And speaking of deployment, you highlighted Line's significance earlier. For anyone listening who's thinking about actually building one of these, why is Line the strategic platform choice, especially in regions like Taiwan and Japan?
Right, so Line, what's truly insightful about it isn't just its massive user base, although that's huge. It's how deeply it's woven into the social and professional fabric of daily life in these regions. This isn't just about convenience. It's about deploying AI directly into people's existing communication workflows. It minimizes any behavioral change needed.
So you don't have to convince people to download yet another app.
Exactly. Imagine an expert system that feels as natural and immediate as just texting a colleague, rather than opening a separate app or website. That seamless integration is the hidden power of Line. It's where people already communicate for everything, personal chats, company-wide announcements, everything.
That's a powerful point. It's less about teaching users a new habit and more about enhancing an existing one. Makes total sense for building AI projects with real business landing sense, as you put it. But for that usability to translate into genuine value, the AI needs to be incredibly precise and reliable. What are the core technologies truly powering that expert accuracy behind the scenes? What are the secret ingredients here?
Okay, so at its core, an accurate AI expert system relies on two powerful technologies working together: large language models, or LLMs, and Retrieval-Augmented Generation, or RAG.
LLM and RAG, got it.
Right. The LLM acts as the brain for language understanding and generation. These are the models you might recognize, names like OpenAI's GPT series, Anthropic's Claude, or Meta's Llama. They understand your query and can formulate coherent responses in natural language.
So the LLM is what makes it sound smart, makes it conversational, where what prevents it from just making things up, because that's the big concern people often have with AI, right? The hallucination problem.
Exactly, and that's where RAG comes in, and it's absolutely crucial for these expert systems. RAG ensures accuracy by adding a critical step. Instead of the LLM just pulling from its general training data, RAG first retrieves highly relevant documents from a specific curated database,
Yeah.
your
I'll
database.
just use first.
Only after that retrieval does the LLM generate its answer, using that retrieved information as its primary source. This directly addresses that notorious hallucination problem. It ensures the answers are evidence-based, not fabricated. It's about grounding the AI in factual, specific, often proprietary information.
So it forces the AI to show its work, essentially, based on the provided documents.
That's a great way to think about it. For professional domains, referencing the latest policies or accessing internal company knowledge, this evidence-based approach is, well, it's non-negotiable.
That really is a game changer for trust and reliability. So if we were building one of these, let's picture the blueprint. How do all these pieces fit together, from the user's message in line all the way to the expert answer coming back?
Okay, let's walk through that blueprint. It starts with the user client. In our case, that's the line messaging API. This is just where the user sends their messages right in the app they already use.
Okay, so that's literally where the conversation begins for the user. Simple enough.
Precisely. Those messages then hit a backend server. This is usually built with something like Flask or FastAPI, popular Python frameworks. The server processes the incoming messages and acts as the central hub. Think of it as the control tower for your AI system.
The control tower. Got it. Receiving and directing traffic.
Exactly. The backend server then calls upon a retrieval engine. This uses tools like FSCSS or Pinecone. These are specialized databases, really optimized for finding similar information incredibly fast, almost like a lightning-quick digital index.
Finding similar information, not just keywords.
Right, semantic similarity. Their job is to scour your document database for the most relevant pieces of information based on the user's question. And this database, this is where all your domain-specific documents, FAQs, PDFs, knowledge-based articles are meticulously stored and pre-processed.
So the retrieval engine is like a super fast, hyper-focused librarian going straight to the right passage in your specialized library.
You've got it. Perfect analogy. Once that librarian, the retrieval engine, finds the relevant content, it sends that context, along with the user's original query, over to the LLM API. That could be GPT-4, Claude 3, whichever you choose.
And then the LLM writes the answer?
Yes. The LLM then generates the expert answer, but crucially, it's grounded strictly in the retrieved information. And that final output is sent back through the line messaging API to the user. So the flow is really clear. User asks, inline A hits your backend triggers retrieval from your document database. Relevant info plus question goes to the LLM. LLM generates grounded answer. Answer comes back to the user in line.
That's a very clear end-to-end path, question to answer, all mediated by these components. Now, for someone who's listening and thinking, okay, I want to build one of these, what are the actual practical steps involved? What do they need to do?
Right. The implementation steps are quite structured. First, you need to register for a LineBot and messaging API. This involves signing up on the Line developers platform, creating what they call a messaging API channel, and getting your unique channel access token. That's basically getting your AI bot its official Line identity and keys.
Okay, step 1, get official online.
Step 2, set up your backend. You'll write a webhook endpoint using a framework like Flask or FastAPI. Think of a webhook as like a dedicated, secure doorbell for your server. It tells your backend exactly when Line sends a new message for your bot.
Got it. The doorbell rings, the backend answers.
Third, and this is really critical, you need to set up your database and vector retrieval. This means organizing all your domain-specific documents, could be TXT files, PDFs, CSVs, whatever you have, and then converting them into something called vector embeddings.
Vector embeddings sound complicated.
They're basically unique numerical fingerprints for every piece of text. It sounds technical, but there are libraries to help with this. These allow the system to quickly find other fingerprints that are numerically close, which means they're semantically related, even if they don't use the exact same words. These embeddings are then stored in a specialized vector database like FAIS or Pinecone.
Okay, so the fingerprints are how that super fast librarian finds the right book or the right paragraph lightning fast.
Got it. Precisely. Fourth step. You call the LLM API. This is where you actually connect to a service like OpenAI's GPT-4 or Anthropic's Claude 3. You take the content retrieved from your database in the previous step, and you inject it directly into the prompt you send to the LLM. You essentially tell the LLM, answer the user's question using only this specific information I'm giving you.
Guiding it very strictly.
Very strictly. Finally, you move into testing and optimization. This is ongoing. You continuously check the accuracy of the answers to different kinds of questions, and you fine-tune your retrieval parameters, maybe tweak your prompt templates. This ensures the AI is always learning, well, not learning in the training sense, but getting more precise based on your adjustments.
That sounds like a solid roadmap. But let's talk about that precision again. How do you truly ensure that the answers are genuinely expert level? How do you guarantee that accuracy, especially when you're dealing with sensitive domains like legal or medical info?
Yeah, ensuring that precision is paramount, and it comes down to a few key techniques. First, data organization and cleaning. This cannot be overstated. Your source material must be accurate, up-to-date, free of duplicates, and consistently formatted. The quality of your input data directly, massively impacts the quality of the output. Anyone who's ever tried to wrangle a stack of messy PDFs knows this is often the toughest part, that initial data prep.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Garbage in, garbage out. Right. That old saying definitely applies here.
Absolutely, maybe more than ever with AI. Second, prompt design and context injection are vital. You have to clearly guide the LLM. Tell it its role. You are a legal expert specializing in Article X, or you are a helpful HR assistant using the company handbook. Define the desired answer format. And, most importantly, strictly limit it to using only the content retrieved from your specific database. You have to be very explicit about that boundary.
Don't go off script. Stick to the evidence provided.
Exactly. This prevents it from pulling in general knowledge that might be irrelevant, outdated, or just plain wrong in your specific context. Finally, evaluating answer quality is not a one-off thing. It's an ongoing process. You need to collect test conversations, maybe have actual human experts review the AI's responses, and check them against professional standards to ensure they're accurate and genuinely useful.
That makes a lot of sense. The human oversight is still crucial. The implications of getting this right are certainly vast. So let's bring it back to the real world. What does this all mean for us? Where can we actually see these line AI expert systems in action making a difference?
Well, the potential application scenarios are quite broad and impactful, precisely because they're so targeted. You can definitely use them for 247 customer service chatbots, handling common queries instantly and accurately, freeing up human agents for complex issues. They're excellent for internal knowledge base lookups. Imagine an employee asking, "What's our policy on X?" and getting an instant, precise answer drawn directly from the latest company handbook.
That would save so much time searching through documents.
Huge time saver. And, as the source material we looked at mentions, they can even serve as professional consulting systems. For example, a legal AI assistant built for HR could instantly quote specific articles from, say, the Labor Standards Act, like Article 24 for overtime pay calculations. And it could even provide calculation examples based on the law. That's incredibly useful for HR folks or legal professionals who need that info quickly and reliably.
Wow, that's a tangible benefit. Moving beyond simple Q&A to actual complex information retrieval and even application, like calculations. And, for anyone out there listening who's looking to make their mark in the AI world, building a project like this, it isn't just a technical exercise, is it? It seems like it directly shows that commercial application capability to interviewers. It proves you can build solutions that solve real business problems, not just play with models.
Absolutely. It demonstrates you understand not just the AI, but the whole pipeline. The data, the retrieval, the deployment, the user experience within a platform like Line. That's incredibly valuable. And looking ahead, the exciting thing is that these systems can be continuously enhanced. There are lots of potential extents.
Oh yeah, like what's next for these kinds of systems?
Well, one major direction is multi-language support. Building the system to seamlessly serve users in different languages, which is obviously huge for platforms like Line with diverse user bases. Another important area is user authentication. Imagine tying it into company logins so different employees can access different levels or subsets of data based on their permissions. That adds security and relevance.
So a manager might get access to more sensitive policy info than an intern, for example.
Exactly. And if we really connect this to the bigger picture, think about integrating with other APIs. Connect it to calendar systems for scheduling follow-ups, or real-time data feeds for up-to-the-minute stock information or news updates relevant to the domain. That starts to create a truly intelligent assistant that goes beyond just answering questions. It can perform actions and provide dynamic contextual help. Imagine it not just telling you the relevant legal clause, but helping you schedule a meeting with a legal expert based on their real-time availability.
That really paints a picture of a much more integrated and proactive assistant. What an incredible deep dive today. We've really journeyed from the core concept of line AI expert chatbot systems through their essential technologies like LLM and, crucially, RG, into the detailed system architecture and those practical implementation steps, and finally explored their real-world impact and that exciting future potential. This deep dive, I think, wasn't just about the technology itself. It was really about understanding how to build practical, impactful applications, how to truly leverage AI to solve specific, knowledge-intensive problems.
And that really raises an important question for you, our listener, to consider as we wrap up. Given the power of these highly tailored AI systems, think about this. What specific domain in your life or work, or maybe even in a field you're passionate about, could be transformed by building a highly specialized AI expert chatbot? How can you apply this focused AI approach, this combination of LLM and RAG, to move beyond general-purpose AI and tackle those particular knowledge-intensive challenges? This isn't just theory anymore. It's about seeing what's possible when you bring precision and real-world context to AI.
That's a great thought to leave everyone with. Thank you for joining us on the deep dive. We hope this exploration into line AI expert chatbot systems is giving you some new insights and perhaps sparks some ideas for your own AI projects. Keep exploring the fascinating world of AI and its endless applications. And definitely join us next time for a deep dive into a question many of you might be asking: are those AI courses you're seeing everywhere really worth the investment? We'll be comparing tuition versus actual results in our Dr. AI Career Change Notes series. You won't want to miss that one. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.